Respect starts when you say no. Now, let's make this practical, because understanding boundaries is not enough. You must learn to apply them clearly, calmly, consistently, because weak boundaries create emotional chaos. Now, imagine this. Someone constantly interrupts your peace, your time, your emotional energy, but you never say anything. Eventually, frustration builds internally. Now, here's the truth. Unspoken boundaries create silent resentment. Now, here's the shift. You must communicate limits early, before emotional exhaustion appears. Now, step 1. Notice what drains your energy, because emotional discomfort often signals a missing boundary. Now, imagine this. After certain conversations, you feel mentally exhausted. That reveals something important. Now, step 2. Stop automatic people-pleasing, because constant pleasing destroys self-respect. Now, imagine this. Before saying yes, you pause. You ask yourself, do I actually want this? That changes behavior. Now, step 3. Learn to say no without guilt, because guilt does not mean you are wrong. Now, imagine this. You say, "No, I'm not available," without over-explaining. That builds confidence. Now, here's something powerful. Short, clear boundaries feel stronger. Now, step 4. Protect your time intentionally, because time is emotional energy. Now, imagine this. You stop allowing constant interruptions. That improves peace. Now, step 5. Watch how people react to boundaries, because reactions reveal character. Now, imagine this. Healthy people understand limits. Manipulative people resist them. That gives you clarity. Now, step 6. Stop rewarding disrespect, because tolerated behavior repeats. Now, imagine this. Someone repeatedly disrespects you. You continue allowing access. That teaches them nothing changes. Now imagine the opposite. You reduce access calmly. That changes dynamics. Now here's the truth. Boundaries teach people how to treat you. Now step 7. Separate kindness from self-sacrifice, because many people confuse the two. Now imagine this. You help others without abandoning yourself. That creates balance. Now step 8. Practice calm communication, because emotional reactions weaken boundaries. Now, imagine this. Instead of exploding emotionally, you speak clearly and calmly. That creates strength. Now here's something deeper. Calm boundaries feel more powerful than aggressive ones. Now step 9. Stop seeking permission to protect yourself, because self-respect requires internal approval. Now, imagine this. You stop waiting for validation. That creates emotional independence. Now, step 10. Be consistent with your limits, because inconsistent boundaries confuse people. Now, imagine this. One day, you allow disrespect. Next day, you reject it. That creates mixed signals. Now, imagine consistency. That creates clarity. Now, let's go deeper. You must tolerate temporary discomfort, because healthy boundaries often feel uncomfortable initially. Now imagine this. Someone becomes upset when you say no, but you stay calm. That builds emotional strength. Now here's the truth. You are not responsible for everyone's emotional reaction. Now imagine this. You stop carrying unnecessary emotional responsibility. That creates peace. Now let's go further. You must protect mental space, because constant emotional access destroys clarity. Now imagine this. Too many opinions, too much negativity. That weakens emotional stability. Now imagine intentional distance. That restores calmness. Now here's something powerful. Boundaries improve confidence. Now imagine this. You keep promises to yourself. You protect your needs. That builds self-trust internally. Now here's the truth. Self-trust creates self-respect. Now let's go deeper. You must stop fearing abandonment because fear of losing people creates weak boundaries. Now imagine this. You finally realize losing yourself is worse than losing approval. That changes everything. Now here's something deeper. Strong boundaries attract healthier relationships. Now imagine this. You stop overgiving. You stop tolerating manipulation. That improves connection quality. Now imagine this version of you. You communicate clearly. You stay calm. You protect your peace. You stop apologizing for boundaries. That version is powerful because now your life is no longer controlled by emotional pressure. Now here's the final shift. Stop asking, how do I make everyone happy? Start asking, how do I protect my peace while staying respectful? Because boundaries create emotional freedom. Respect starts when you say no. At some point, you realize something important. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your life, your attention, your energy, your emotions. And the moment you understand that, everything begins to change. Now here's the truth. Many people spend years trying to be accepted, liked, approved by everyone, and during that process, they slowly abandon themselves. Now think about this. How many times did you stay silent just to avoid conflict? How many times did you say yes when your mind was screaming no? And how many times did that cost your peace? Now here's the shift. Your peace matters too. Your needs matter too. Your emotional health matters too. Now let's be real. Boundaries are uncomfortable at first, especially when people are used to unlimited access to you. Now imagine this. You finally begin protecting your time, your emotional energy, your mental peace. Some people will not like it. Why? Because your boundaries remove their control. Now here's something powerful. The people who truly respect you will also respect your boundaries. Now imagine this. You stop over-explaining yourself. You stop apologizing for protecting your peace. That changes your confidence completely. Now here's the truth. Self-respect changes your entire energy. Now imagine this. You walk differently, speak differently, choose differently, because internally you no longer betray yourself for approval. Now let's go deeper. You must stop believing that kindness means self-sacrifice, because constantly abandoning yourself is not kindness, it's emotional neglect. Now imagine this. You support others without destroying your own peace. That creates balance. Now here's something deeper. Every healthy relationship requires boundaries. Now imagine this. Mutual respect, mutual understanding, mutual emotional space. That creates emotional safety. Now here's the truth. Relationships without boundaries eventually create resentment. Now imagine this. You no longer tolerate disrespect quietly. You communicate calmly. That changes relationship quality. Now let's go further. You must stop fearing rejection, because fear of rejection creates weak identity. Now imagine this. Someone dislikes your boundaries, but you remain calm. That creates emotional independence. Now here's something powerful. The ability to disappoint people respectfully is emotional maturity. Now imagine this. You no longer need everyone to approve of you. That creates freedom internally. Now here's the deeper truth. Self-respect is built through action. Now imagine this. You keep promises to yourself. You protect your emotional space. You stop tolerating toxic behavior. That builds confidence. Now here's the truth.
Confidence grows when your actions match your values. Now let's go deeper. You must stop shrinking yourself emotionally because people who constantly minimize themselves lose connection with their own identity. Now imagine this. You finally express your needs clearly. That changes your entire presence. Now here's something powerful. Emotionally strong people stay calm while setting boundaries. Now imagine this. No aggression, no guilt, just calm clarity. That creates respect. Now here's the truth. Boundaries are not walls. They are filters. Now imagine this. You allow healthy energy in and limit toxic energy. That protects peace. Now let's go further. You must understand this deeply. Every time you say yes to something unhealthy, you say no to yourself. Now imagine the opposite. You protect your peace intentionally. That creates emotional stability. Now here's something deeper. Your future relationships improve when your self-respect improves. Now imagine this version of you. You stop chasing approval, you communicate clearly, you protect your energy, you value yourself deeply, you stay calm under pressure. That version is powerful because now your life is no longer controlled by emotional fear. Now here's the final shift. Stop asking, how do I make everyone comfortable? Start asking, how do I stay emotionally healthy while staying respectful? Because people may respect kindness temporarily, but they deeply respect people who respect themselves. Now here's the final realization. Respect starts the moment you stop saying yes to everything and finally learn the power of no.
Respect starts when you say no. There is a level where boundaries stop feeling difficult and start feeling natural. That level is emotional maturity, because emotionally mature people understand something important. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to you, your time, your energy, your emotions. Now here's the truth. Unlimited emotional access creates emotional exhaustion. Now imagine this: constant drama, constant pressure, constant emotional demands. That slowly drains peace. Now imagine the opposite: selective emotional access that protects mental clarity. Now here's something powerful. Peace grows when unnecessary emotional chaos disappears. Now let's go deeper. You must learn energy protection because emotional energy affects everything: your focus, mood, confidence, decision-making. Now imagine this. You spend hours around negativity daily, complaints, manipulation, stress. That affects your nervous system. Now imagine intentional distance that restores emotional balance. Now here's the truth. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's intelligent. Now let's go further. You must stop absorbing everyone's emotions, because empathy without boundaries creates burnout. Now imagine this. Someone else feels angry or anxious, and you immediately carry their emotional weight. That weakens emotional stability. Now imagine the opposite. Compassion without emotional absorption. That creates strength. Now here's something deeper. Emotionally strong people stay calm around chaos. Now imagine this. Others panic emotionally, but you remain centered. That creates presence. Now here's the truth. Calmness is power. Now let's go deeper. You must learn strategic silence, because not every situation deserves your emotional reaction. Now imagine this. Someone tries to provoke you emotionally. Instead of reacting instantly, you pause. That creates control. Now here's something powerful. Reaction gives away emotional power. Response protects it. Now imagine this. You stop arguing unnecessarily. That preserves peace. Now let's go further. You must stop explaining boundaries repeatedly, because repeated justification weakens authority. Now imagine this. You communicate clearly once, then maintain consistency calmly. That creates strength. Now here's the truth. Strong boundaries require fewer words. Now let's go deeper. You must become comfortable disappointing people, because trying to satisfy everyone destroys emotional freedom. Now imagine this. Someone becomes upset because you chose yourself, but you remain calm. That builds emotional independence. Now here's something powerful. Self-respect sometimes requires uncomfortable decisions. Now imagine this. You distance yourself from toxic behavior even when emotionally difficult. That creates long-term peace. Now let's go further. You must observe how people respond to your growth, because growth changes relationship dynamics. Now imagine this. The moment you become emotionally stronger, some people lose access to controlling you. That creates resistance. Now here's the truth. Not everyone benefits from your healing. Now imagine this. You stop tolerating manipulation. That changes everything. Now let's go deeper. You must stop confusing emotional intensity with connection, because chaos is not love. Now imagine this. Constant emotional drama, stress, confusion. That is emotional instability. Now imagine healthy connection, calmness, respect, safety. That creates peace. Now here's something deeper. Emotionally healthy relationships respect boundaries naturally. Now imagine this. You no longer chase emotionally unavailable people. That restores self-respect. Now let's go further. You must train emotional detachment, not coldness, clarity. Now imagine this. You care about people without losing yourself. That creates balance. Now here's something powerful. Detachment improves perception. Now imagine this. You stop reacting emotionally to everything. That improves decision-making. Now here's the truth. Emotionally reactive people lose clarity easily. Now imagine emotional control. That creates power. Now let's go deeper. Your presence changes when you respect yourself. Now imagine this. You stop shrinking yourself emotionally. You speak calmly. You move confidently. You protect your peace. That changes your energy completely. Now imagine this version of you. You stay calm under pressure. You protect emotional space. You communicate boundaries clearly. You stop absorbing unnecessary chaos. That version is powerful, because now your peace is no longer controlled by other people. Now here's the final shift. Stop trying to manage everyone's emotions. Start managing your own emotional environment, because emotional boundaries create powerful inner peace. Respect starts when you say no. Let's go deeper, because boundaries are not only about other people, they are about self-worth. And many people struggle with boundaries because deep inside, they fear rejection, disapproval, abandonment. Now here's the truth. People who constantly seek approval usually abandon themselves first. Now imagine this. You say yes automatically, even when you feel uncomfortable. Why? Because you fear disappointing others. Now here's the shift. Self-respect begins when approval stops controlling your decisions. Now think about this. Why do some people tolerate disrespect repeatedly? Because internally, they don't believe they deserve better. Now here's something deeper. Low self-worth creates weak boundaries. Now imagine this. You believe your needs are less important, so you stay silent. You tolerate more. You overgive emotionally. That slowly destroys confidence. Now imagine the opposite. You believe your peace matters too. That changes behavior immediately. Now here's the truth. People treat you according to the standards you accept. Now let's go deeper. Approval addiction is emotional dependence. Now imagine this. You constantly need reassurance, validation, acceptance. That gives other people emotional control over you. Now imagine the opposite. Internal validation, self-approval. That creates emotional freedom. Now here's something powerful. The more you respect yourself, the less desperate you become for external approval. Now imagine this. You stop trying to impress everyone. That creates calmness. Now let's go further. You must stop tying your worth to people's reactions because emotional reactions are temporary. Now imagine this. Someone becomes upset because you said no. That does not mean you are wrong. Now here's the truth. Healthy boundaries often disappoint people who benefited from your lack of them. Now imagine this. You stop feeling guilty for protecting yourself. That builds emotional maturity. Now here's something deeper. Your identity shapes your boundaries. Now imagine this. If you believe, I must keep everyone happy, you sacrifice yourself constantly. Now imagine the opposite. I deserve respect too. That changes decisions. Now here's the shift. You must become someone who values inner peace more than approval. Now imagine this. You stop over-explaining yourself. You stop apologizing unnecessarily. That builds confidence. Now here's the truth. Confident people do not constantly defend their boundaries. Now let's go deeper. Fear of rejection creates emotional weakness. Now imagine this. You tolerate bad behavior because you fear losing connection. That creates emotional dependency. Now imagine the opposite. You accept that not everyone belongs in your life. That creates strength. Now here's something powerful. Self-respect requires emotional courage. Now imagine this. You choose honesty over comfort. That changes your relationships. Now let's go further. You must separate love from self-abandonment because many people confuse attachment with connection. Now imagine this. You give endlessly, ignore your own needs, and call it love. That creates exhaustion. Now imagine healthy connection, mutual respect, mutual effort. That creates peace. Now here's the truth. Healthy relationships do not require self-destruction. Now let's go deeper. You must stop explaining your value to people constantly because real self-worth does not beg for recognition. Now imagine this. You know your value quietly. That changes your energy. Now here's something deeper. Self-respect changes body language, voice, presence, energy. Now imagine this. You stop shrinking yourself emotionally. That changes how people respond to you. Now here's something powerful. People sense self-respect subconsciously. Now imagine this. You walk calmly, speak clearly, protect your peace. That creates presence. Now here's the truth. Boundaries are emotional standards. Now imagine this. You no longer tolerate manipulation, disrespect, constant emotional draining. That changes your life quality. Now let's go further. You must become emotionally independent because dependence weakens boundaries. Now imagine this. You stop needing constant validation. That creates internal stability. Now imagine this version of you. You trust yourself. You value yourself. You stop chasing approval. You protect your emotional peace confidently. That version is powerful because now your self-worth comes from within. Now here's the final realization. Respect starts the moment you stop abandoning yourself for acceptance.
Respect starts when you say no. Most people are afraid to say no, not because they are weak, but because they fear losing people, approval, acceptance, connection. So they say yes, even when they feel uncomfortable. And slowly, they lose themselves. Now here's the truth. Every time you betray your own boundaries, you weaken self-respect. Now imagine this. You agree to things you don't want. You tolerate disrespect. You stay silent when something hurts you. That creates resentment internally. Now, here's the shift. Self-respect begins the moment you stop abandoning yourself. Now think about this. Why do people struggle with boundaries? Because they confuse kindness with self-sacrifice. Now imagine this. You constantly prioritize everyone else while ignoring your own needs. Eventually, exhaustion appears. Now here's something powerful. Boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary. Now imagine this. A person who says yes to everything usually feels emotionally drained because unlimited access destroys peace. Now here's the truth. People treat you based on what you allow. Now imagine the opposite. You communicate limits calmly. You protect your energy. That changes how people respond to you. Now here's something deeper. Saying no creates discomfort initially, especially for people used to pleasing others. Now imagine this. You finally say, "No, I can't do that," and guilt appears immediately. That's normal, because your brain is adjusting to self-respect. Now here's the truth. Temporary guilt is better than permanent resentment. Now let's go deeper. Boundaries reveal self-worth. Now imagine this. If you tolerate constant disrespect, people assume it's acceptable. Now imagine the opposite. You calmly address disrespect. That creates clarity. Now here's something powerful. Respect grows through consistency. Now imagine this. You protect your time, your attention, your emotional peace. That builds confidence internally. Now here's the truth. People who respect themselves do not constantly seek validation. Now imagine this. You stop trying to make everyone happy. That creates emotional freedom. Now let's go further. You must stop over-explaining your boundaries, because confident people do not need endless justification. Now imagine this. You say, "No, that doesn't work for me," calmly, clearly. That creates strength. Now here's something deeper. Boundaries expose unhealthy relationships. Now imagine this. The moment you stop over-giving, some people become angry. Why? Because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. Now here's the truth. Healthy people respect limits. Controlling people resist them. Now imagine this. You stop tolerating manipulation. That changes your relationships completely. Now let's go deeper. You must protect your mental environment, because constant emotional pressure destroys peace. Now imagine this. Negative people constantly drain your energy. You continue tolerating it. That weakens emotional stability. Now imagine the opposite. You limit toxic access. That restores peace. Now here's something powerful. Self-respect changes energy. Now imagine this. You walk differently, speak differently, decide differently, because internally you value yourself more. Now here's the truth. Confidence grows when your actions align with your self-worth. Now let's go further. You must stop fearing rejection, because fear of rejection creates weak boundaries. Now imagine this. You say yes just to avoid disappointing others. That creates emotional exhaustion. Now imagine the opposite. You accept that not everyone will like your boundaries. That creates freedom. Now here's something deeper. People who truly value you will respect your limits. Now imagine this version of you. You say no calmly. You protect your peace. You stop chasing approval. You respect yourself deeply. That version is powerful, because now you control access to your energy. Now here's the final realization. Respect starts the moment you stop saying yes to everything and finally learn how to say no.